Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and it's been a little bit since I posted a review. I've been busy at work and haven't gotten to see as many movies this past week, but now I'm back and I got a chance to go see a film that I was really looking forward to at the Princeton Garden Theater, one of the smaller art house theaters around my area, and it's The Trip to Spain. Now, I'm a huge fan of this series, and honestly, I got informed about these films because I was looking at a list of films to check out on Netflix, and one of them was the Trip, and I'm like, okay, I'll check this out. And the movie was just about Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon driving around England and eating things and talking about stuff and doing impressions, and I'm like, this is fantastic. And I watched the second one also on Netflix, and now I finally got to see this one in theaters, and I absolutely loved it. Honestly, this trilogy is one of those sets of films that is fantastic, but I don't think a whole lot of people know about them. Highly recommend them. But now to talk about this film. This was directed by Michael Winterbottom, and there's actually no writer who's actually credited, at least on IMDb, so I'm assuming this was Michael Winterbottom pointing a camera at Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, then just kind of doing their own thing. But how they put the film together makes for a smooth film that's, when the shots cut away and the scenes and the sequences are edited together, it hits with maximum performance. They never stay in one place too long. It moves along and keeps up the pace, and it has a very zany vibe to it and a lot of energy. But also, it's able to balance between being very, very funny, which this film is very, very funny. I laughed out loud plenty of times in the theater, but it also hits on some emotional moments, and I really appreciate those moments, especially with Steve Coogan in this particular film, had a lot of emotional parts in this film. And when you look at the cinematography done by James Clark, this is a beautiful film. When they look at the landscape, there's some beautiful shots of just the wonderful landscape of Spain that this film takes place in, all across Spain. And what they're able to do with the how the cameras are shot and how everything is framed, it's very much talking a lot. And so the way that the camera's set up for us to get the maximum amount of the interactions with these characters and the choices made by the actors to really get across what they're trying to do. And there's a couple of dream sequences in this that are really shot they're shot very well and are seamless into the film and really enjoyable. And in terms of the writing, they're able to put together a very intriguing film about two men who just basically bust each other's balls for 2 hours and have impression contests against each other, but still hit on some important themes like love and family, and especially at this point in their lives when there's 50 somethings, Rob Brydon has young kids. How's that affect his children with him being somebody in his 50s already? And with Steve Coogan dealing with his son, who is an adult, and him dealing with being in love with a woman who's married and trying to balance those relationships. And it really does hit home. Now, the only drawbacks really to this film, it does feel very episodic and choppy in terms of, does everything fully flesh together and make a cohesive film? It's a lot of vignettes, and that's how it's set up. And there are a lot more funny moments than serious moments in this film, which the previous film did hit a lot more on heavier topics and stuff. But I guess the biggest criticism I have of this film is where it kind of goes in its last 15 minutes. I wasn't the hugest fan of. I did enjoy it and I appreciated the ambition that it went, but it didn't fully work for me. Now, the music in this film is some great music that they put together. There's no composer on credited on this film either, so it's a lot of reused music, and it all fits very, very well and makes for a very satisfying experience. Now, Steve Coogan, Rob Brydon, I can't say anything else about the fantastic performances they give in this film. Steve Coogan gets some very emotional moments in this film and really stands out. And just the comedic work of him, and especially Rob Brydon, his comedic work is unbelievable in this film. And my overall thoughts, the it factor of this film is it's funny and a unique experience. You don't see a whole lot of films like this. And I think it's really worth you checking out this trilogy of films. And I'm going to give The Trip to Spain an A minus.